Hi, and you're welcome to my year in review guide. Yay! I'm so happy to have you join me on this journey. It's been an incredible year. It's also been a very wonderful way. And yeah, sorry, either in a good way or in a bad way. But in all things, we have to give thanks to God for being faithful, and you have to also be thankful because you are alive. Every day that you are alive is an opportunity for you to do better. It's an opportunity for you to live better and correct the wrongs of yesterday. So why is this review important, or what does it mean to review? Why has this book been made? You may be wondering, like, do I need this book? Yes, you do. You do need this book. So here's why. Reviewing means like going through the year from January to February till March to April. Now, as the name implies, is a year in review, not years in review. So I'm not saying you need to go through 2020, 2021. However, in the course of this review, there may be reasons for you to go back to those years, but this is specific. So use it for just this year. If you want to do for 2022, then do for 2022. But whatever year you're doing for, and make it accordingly in that purpose. Okay, so another word for review will be evaluation. It means to evaluate yourself, to appraise yourself, to take stock. Is it stock? Yeah, to take stock of 2023. So let's just say in 2023 you were given 10 million. Do you understand? 10 million passed through your account in 2023. What did you do with it? Or in 2023, you were given 365 days. I'm not sure if it's 365 or it's more, but yes, estimated number of days will be 365 days. And if you were given that, what did you do for 365 days? I mean, we were just saying Happy New Year like yesterday, and right now we are already here. What goals did you set at the beginning of the year that you were hoping you were going to achieve before the end of this year? How has that happened? What have you done? What didn't you do right? What are the relationships that you have lost as a result of this year? What are the relationships you have gained? What were the things you have done? Who came into your life and distorted your life? You need to review everything. You need to evaluate your finances, your relationship, your career, your health, every aspect of your life. What habits did you pick up? What habits did you drop? Did you exercise more in this year? Did you eat more of junk foods? And then what were the reasons? You don't want to just stay and start condemning yourself. No, that's the essence of the review, so that you know what you did more. Were you more frequent with doing your exercises? How has that been for you? Was it really stressful? So you want to check if there are habits you need to really stop, and then you also want to see if there are things you need to start doing. Like the things that worked well, you need to re-strategize, replan, and see what can be applicable. Now, this process needs a time of no distraction. It needs a time of no distraction, so you may need to turn off your phone for at least 1 hour. Put your phone on flight mode, because most of the means for which you may be using this may be through your phone. So turn off your phone, put it on flight mode, so nothing is distracting you. There's no internet, neither is there any call coming. Nothing will happen within that 1 hour. You need at least 30 minutes to 1 hour to spend with yourself. Be quiet by yourself, cut off every distraction as much as possible. And even after the review, you may also want to limit your time. Until you're done with the review, you may want to limit your time on social media, so that there's no much interference on what you're feeding your mind with. And then you also need to invite the Spirit of God in this process, so that He can remind you also of the things that you've forgotten, and you also need His help to also review you to you, because He knows better what you did in this year. And now the purpose of this review is not for any form of self-condemnation. No, it is for you to do better. If you made any mistake, do not beat yourself up for it. There's nobody that is perfect. There's nobody that is good. The only person that is good is actually God. Do you understand? No matter how good you are. Even Jesus Christ said that. So cut that story. But you actually want to be really focused and do this journey very, very well, and do this review very well. So like I promised, I'm going to try as much as possible to do a video for each of the days to guide us through the days. And I'm so happy you're joining me on this journey for day 1. So let's dive right into day 1. Get a journal and a pen. Very important. You can't do this without a journal and a pen. I don't know what you're doing. Don't be answering the questions and saying, oh, this is what the answer is in my head. It's not going to work. Do you understand? So get a journal and a pen. You know those who that offended you in this, you need to write their names out and, remove those things that they did. You don't need to be moving with people that hurt you and all of that. You don't need all of that. So if you have my book, if you've not downloaded it, please kindly click the link below and download. But if you have downloaded it, here is we're in day 1. We're in day 1, and day 1 says introduce yourself to you. Now I know you know who you are, but the purpose of this is just to say what has changed, what hasn't changed, where are you now. So write your name, write today's date, meaning that as at today's date, this is who you were. So you can be a mentor, a coach, a teacher, you can be a stay-at-home mom, you can be a tutor, you can be a doctor, you can be a nurse, you can be a receptionist, you can be a janitor, you can be anything. But whatever you choose to call yourself, please write it there in your job title and role. Now I've already mentioned what and what we need to do, but you need to read this. Please stay true to yourself during this process. I mean, you shouldn't be lying to yourself. Stay true to yourself as much as possible. There is no judgment. It is just between you, yourself, and God. So I see no reason why you shouldn't be true to yourself. Please, as much as possible. Even when you see like you messed up, do you understand? Just highlight it and leave it there. And just see that, okay, I messed up in this part. I think I need to do better. Do you get? Okay, so sorry about that. Now there are like 5 questions you're going to ask yourself today. And number 1 is self-reflection, just understanding the key experiences that happened for you in this year. What were the key moments? Okay, so the first thing is self-reflection. Take some time out to know what are the things that matter to you, especially in this year. But you may also want to take that further and think about it generally, like in terms of your life as a whole. And then after that, when you write out your values, maybe your values can be integrity, your belief, whatever your belief is, your principle, write them out. That's like the first thing. When you reflect, write whatever comes to your mind, whether you think is true or untrue. It's a process. So there are some things you may remember later. So write out what you remember. Do you understand? Then, what are the key experiences you had in this that has shaped who you are today? Now for some, what this means is that, for instance, if you're someone that came from a broken home, how has that shaped you today? If someone was raped, how has that shaped you today? Are you living your life based on those experiences? So you may want to write one of those things down. Or maybe somebody broke your heart so terribly and then you've made up your mind that, oh, you're never going to do this again. So you also want to make sure that you are knowing what those things are. Maybe you had an accident, had a serious operation, there was a terrible experience that came with, write it down. Do you understand? Because those things, the experiences we have, are the things that shape who we are. Then secondly, how do you define success, happiness, and fulfillment for yourself? Whatever success means to you, write it. Happiness, anything. Now the next thing is to identify your strengths and your weaknesses. Now, what do you think you are confident about who you are? oh, I'm a bold person, I'm optimistic, I'm this. Write out those are your. Okay, so you may want to go over what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses. So you may just write like 3 to 5. Do you understand? Write like 3 to 5 what you're very, very confident in. Now you can divide your strengths into maybe career strength, you write 3, your relationship strength, you write 3, this strength, you write 3. You want to call it strengths, please. And you just write like 3 to 5, whatever you feel you're confident in. If you cannot divide it into those partitions, then you can write them as a whole. Just write whatever you remember. If you need any help with any of this, please reach out to me. I'm a DM away, I'm a mail away, so I'll try to help as much as I can. Now the next thing is explore your personal values. Now you may want to check out what are the core values that guide your decision making. What are the things you say, no, this is a no. Do you understand? What are the things? There are people of integrity. So anything that is going to taint their integrity, they will not take it lightly with you or even with themselves. They are that serious. So you may want to write 2 to 4 or 5 that are your core values that guide both your personal and your professional life. And then you may want to check maybe within the year, was there any time that you had to make a very difficult decision that affected this value? Check. And if there was any decision, you want to see what was that decision, what happened, why was my value diminished at this point, why did I feel like I didn't need to maintain or uphold this value. Then your number 4 will be to establish short-term goals. Do you understand? Establish short-term goals and long-term goals, anyone that you have. Now your short-term goals can be like 3 to 6 months. Do you understand? And then your long-term can be as long as 2 to 5 years, can be 5 to 10 years, can be 20 years, or whatever it is, just write them down. And then you can use the SMART guide. If you scroll down through this book, you will see the SMART goal setting. I think the second or the third to the last page, you may want to use that to set your personal need to achieve them. So maybe one of your goals will be that by the end of 2024, I want to have gotten $100,000. Do you understand? That's my own financial goal. That's an example. And then what are the actionable steps? I'm going to start selling digital products. I'm going to market my product to be able to get larger audience and all of that. So those are the actionable steps you want to do. And then the last thing is what? Embrace growth and adaptation. In this process from number 1 to 4, you would have noticed certain mistakes that you have made that you are not very happy with. So you want to make sure that you are able to pinpoint those things that you need to grow from. Maybe certain experiences that were not very good or were challenging. You actually want to know how that has made you to grow. Do you understand? So that's about it for day 1, and it looks very easy and simple, but it's actually going to take some time. So please you can just screenshot this page and use it. Okay, you can screenshot this page and use it. So I think that's about it. Now, why is your personal identity very important? You must remember, 1, you cannot know all of who you are just by this day 1 review you've done. No, it's a continuous process. So you want to be sure that if you have not answered the questions that are there, you want to go back to them and answer them. And then 2, you must know that as things change in your life, your personal identity also changes as well, because you will need to drop some habits and you may also need to pick up some habits to become a better version of who you are. Another thing you should not do not lie to yourself. Remember, you're not perfect and you can only become a better person. So that's just it. If you made any mistake, it can only be better. As long as you have life, you can be better. So that's it for me. And thank you very much. I hope this helps you. Thank you. So have a wonderful day and see you tomorrow for day 2. Okay.